Okay, so today we're going to do the next mod, which is fitting this Evotech Garmin bracket to my Multistrada. It's going to go on here. So literally this comes off with 4 bolts. The new bracket goes between the screen and the bike, screws together, all back together, bracket on for the Garmin Zumo XT, cabled into the switchable UGS sat-nav power feed, which is behind the fairing at the front. So yeah, next little mod to be done. I think this is going to be flickering away with the light as it did last time. Apologies in advance. So what do we have? We have a dog, supervisor. All right, Archie, say hello. Oh, okay. Just have a scratch. And as I said, when you get the Evotech stuff, it comes out really well packed, all together in little packages, and on the mobile or online, simple, easy to follow, fitting instructions. What I like about Evotech is they've gone to paper, so no plastics at all recyclable. Well done, Evotech. So as you can see, we've got the screen off now, and to show you where this goes, this will literally go over the top here. Oh great, you can still see the Ducati underneath. Well designed, Evotech. This will just get fixed here using the existing bolts and screw positions. The bracket goes on here for the Garmin, and it gets cabled into here where we have the Ducati pre-prepared connection point. So I'm just going to continue on following the instructions. Should be straightforward, a nice simple job. Here we go. Okay, so this first piece is done now. So as you can see here, we've literally put the new bracket on here, and using the same OEM bolts, but with inserted Evotech spacer washers. That literally just squeezes all back on. And now, as you can see, we now move on to working on this side of the screen to start the install. One thing to note here, when starting to put the wire in and routing the cable for the power, make sure that your screen is in the upright highest position. That way you don't put all the wiring in at the lowest position and go, oh shit, gotta lift my screen. Oh, can't do that because I've got the wire too short. Just something there just to register before you get cracking on with this job. Anyway, on to the next stage, which is starting to put them out together, and then the final piece will then be putting the cable in. So far so good. Okay, so that's a little bit of a fiddly part the last few minutes. The instructions didn't seem to match the setup here, but what I've got, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, I've got this piece here is the Garmin base plate with the cable connection. This is the piece which came with the Garmin Zumo. This back piece there is then attached to this, I suppose, hinge or sub-mounting bracket, and they all go together. There's a little locking washer inside, and these lock here. So far it's starting to come into shape. Obviously that's flexible, and I think where I'm at now is I'm at the stage where I'm getting close to starting to route the cable. So a little bit of a fiddly piece, but when you're looking at instructions and you think, oh, I've lost a load of pieces, which I thought I had. I hadn't lost them. You've just got to take your time and then just sort of let it all come to you, as I've done now, because I was panicking that they hadn't sent me stuff out. Then I realised that this piece here is the piece that I already had off the Garmin Zumo XT. Anyway, onwards and upwards. Okay, so this is all connected now. These lug bolts, the cable, the original cable, is clipped onto the actual frame with a little clip, obviously making sure that this rubber cover for the electrical connections is above the clip. I forgot, so I had to undo the clip, move it back up the cable. So that's a little learning there. And now I'm in the position of routing the cable into here. So I have 1, 2 and 3 bolts. This item removes, being careful here to disconnect this from the back end so we don't pull the cable out for the charging point. So I'm going to jump onto that now and come back once I'm at the next stage. Okay, so we've now taken this cover off, disconnected off this plug the cigarette lighter, as I call it, charger, and in here you will see a socket or electrical connector. I'm going to disconnect that, and inside this covered terminated pair of wires is the nav power. So before I disconnect it, I'm just going to check which one is positive and negative, and I'll do that by looking at the cables coming in. So there's not much space in here, so I need to be quite careful. Anyway, I'll have to put the camera down and I'll come back to you in a second. Okay, so let me show you what I've done. So obviously the Garmin fits nicely onto here. This is pivotal. That's on there. I've literally fed the cable. Let me get some light into this. I've led the cable behind the screen, and I've literally just cable tied it here, and on this connector here I've literally marked the red with red, black with black, put some male and female connectors on. You have to actually cut back all the insulation rubber that's on that little sort of tail end of the bike cable. Once you've done that and connected it, it should just be a case now of linking everything to the ignition. So it's all connected. So here's the moment of truth. If I turn this on with the power, because this is a switched cable, this Garmin should come on. Hey! Brilliant. Fantastic, fantastic. So this will obviously move up and down. How cool is that? I do like that. On the KTM I had it on here, so your eyes were always drawn down to here when you were using the Garmin. Here it's more at eye height without obstructing the main screen. So that's fantastic, really happy with that. So all I need to do now is tidy all these cables out, put a few cable ties, put the cover back on, and Robert's your father's brother, or as they say, Bob's your uncle. All right, so here we are from the rider's position. Lovely clear view of the main display. Brilliant, clear, great ergonomics for the Garmin. Up it comes with one click. Happy days. I'm really pleased with that. A little fiddly. Really pleased. You'll have seen from my other video I use the Ducati Connect Sigic the other day, and that was great from just going from point A to a final destination. A limited route capability. You can't import GPXs, so when we get off to Europe and we do bigger trips, this is the one to use. So all I've got to do now is get familiar with this. Still haven't really mastered it. It takes a bit of getting used to, a bit fiddly, but that's only because I haven't really spent the time and invested myself in getting to be familiar with it. But yeah, really pleased. That's a really good mod. Pleased with that, big time. Anyway, hopefully that's been of use if you're thinking of doing this. I would highly recommend Evotech for any extra brackets, protectors, all that type of stuff. Really good product. It took me a bit of time understanding some of the instructions, but just worked through it and got there. Really happy with this. Just need to tidy it all up now. And if you are looking at doing this, there was another video by a guy called, Simon the Biker, I think his name is. He's done a similar video on this, maybe slightly better than this one. But if this is of help, I'm pleased for you. Tidy it all up, and time for tea. Speak to you soon, guys. Take care. Like and subscribe. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.